Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is Trev, and tonight, whenever you're watching this, listening to this, guys, we're going to be diving into the Canucks secret sauce. Yes, you heard that right. The Canucks do something really good and have been doing it really well for a number of years, and I'm trying to figure out why the Canucks do this so well. And we're going to dive into three different players that this has worked for. And we're going to be talking about one specific position. It's going to be the left wing position. Hitting the promo and getting right into it. So glad you tuned in. Let's go. All right, so the secret sauce that I'm talking about tonight is the third line left wing. That's right. It's been amazing how these players who played on the third line left-hand side have earned their ways, had career years and made big bank for contracts extensions. It has happened 3 times in a row with 3 different players. Guys, girls, this is too coincidental. It's too coincidental, okay? We're talking about third line left wingers in regards to Höglander, okay? And we know he had an amazing year. We'll talk about that. Dakota Joshua, right? So he had an amazing season as well. And DOC, which is Drew O'Connor. So we're going to talk about why these 3 guys in a row have done so well. What is the secret sauce in Canuckland? It kind of seems a little bit too much, too good to be true, if you ask me. But if you're looking, for example, Nils Höglander, was making $1.1 million. And when he was 23 years old, he scored 51 points. He had 24 goals. And all of a sudden, things started changing for the Canucks. Things started changing. In 80 games, had 51 points, 24 goals. They were all 5-on-5 goals because he didn't end up playing for on the power play at all. He just was the hardworking individual who never said die, smaller guy, as we know, right? We know he's the smaller guy now, approximately 6. Oh no, sorry, that was Dakota Joshua. I'm looking at the wrong ones. My apologies. So when it goes to Höglander, he is 5'9", 185 pounds, right? 5'9", 189 pounds. And then but the numbers are correct. 80 games, 51 points in 2023, 2024. The next year he makes 1.1 million again. And he had a decent year, 72 games, only 8 goals the following year. I remember that being a year where the injuries kind of lagged a lot, even though he only missed like 10 games, which is still, that's significant. Don't get me wrong. He only ended up getting 25 points that time. Sorry, my apologies. I looked at penalty minutes. He made 36 points in 2023, 2024. 24 of them were goals. And then 24-25, he had 8 goals and 25 points. And it earned him a contract extension for 3 years at $30 million. Sorry, 30. What is wrong with me tonight? $3 million, 30 million. That'd be awesome. Okay, $3 million for 3 seasons. This is the season he gets injured. 38 games, gets 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points total. Had a disaster of a year. Had signed the big contract. Then comes this offseason, and the Canucks are sitting there going, we can't have this guy in the roster. We're rebuilding, even though he was younger, right? Even though he was younger. And he's only 25 at this stage. Okay, 25 at this stage. They're like another year. So they wanted to move off this contract. So he has 2 more seasons. This season at $3 million, and next season 27, 28 at $3 million. And then he becomes an unrestricted free agent at 27 years old. Now, if you look at, for example, boy, this is bright, this light. For example, if you look at Joshua's, now he was the guy who was 6'3", 218 pounds, had glimmers of real hope, and then struggled with the difficulty of cancer, and he was walking through that. But he had gone back-to-back years at 22, 23, 2022, 2023, and then 2023, 2024. As a 26-year-old, 27-year-old, he had 60 points in both of those years. 60 points, right? So first season where he got 60 points, he was only making $825,000 at this stage. He in 79 games, he had 11 goals. Sorry, I'm looking again at penalty minutes. My apologies. Okay, 79 games, 23 points, and then 63 games, 32 points, and looked like there was an upward trend. Ends up signing a $3.25 million contract, which is nutso, because he signed for 4 years. And what happens is that a guy like this, okay, he goes and he signs this contract, makes $3.25 million for 4 seasons, and then goes out and in 57 games gets 14 points, only 7 goals, 7 assists, struggles with health, obviously coming back from all his treatment, difficult to do. So we're definitely giving him a pass for that. But then comes back and shows some glimmer of upside, looked really good, and then got hurt again, missed the rest. And next thing you know, he's being shipped out to the Toronto Maple Leafs, where last year he only played 55 games, had 10 goals, 8 assists, and 18 points. So he played his career years in Vancouver. So this is the thing. Third line left winger, career year. 32 points. Gets paid and has been on a downward spiral since. Now, one is because he's been recovering from injury, and now he's with Toronto. And that it's just weird to think about, right? Just weird to think about that. That's the second guy. Now, Vancouver Canucks go and obtain Drew O'Connor in the trade to get Marcus Pettersson and Drew O'Connor. And this is the trade that we trade the first round pick, and we give up a whole bunch of, Desharnais and who's the other guy? Heinen. There, the local boy, didn't work out for us, right? Gets a 2-year, $2.5 million contract extension with the Vancouver Canucks. So with the Penguins, do we have a total one of these two together? So with the Penguins in 23-24, he played 79 games, 16 goals, 17 assists, had 33 points. And then Pittsburgh traded him after 53 games. He had 16 points. Then he comes to Vancouver, plays the next 31 games in Vancouver, and he gets 9 points, okay? 9 points. So that's 25 points. And the Canucks decide to sign him. And then he has a big year for us. 82 games, 17 goals. Look at the goals that they score. And then 12 assists, 29 points. So why is it that it seems like these third line left wingers continue to play well in Vancouver? I mean, you're playing with the likes of Bluger or Ratu Who else was in the past? I mean, there was a number of guys there, but Blueger was there for a number of years. It doesn't make sense, right? Now, the one year we had Lindholm as our third line center, which was awesome. That was 2 seasons ago. Is that 2 now? Because it 2, 1, 2. Yeah. So 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, we had Lindholm. So he was our third line center. So that helped the guy like, Höglander, and sometimes Höglander got to play with Petey, and you got to see the upside. But this is the weirdest thing. And I'm just looking at this and going, so who's going to be the next guy? Who's going to be the next guy? So as you look at the lineup, and I'll explain it again. I just had the Bro line as the top line in Vancouver coming into next year. They were our best line last year. Hopefully they won't be hopefully the Pettersson line will be there, but we'll see. We'll see. Everyone thinks he's going to bounce back and miraculously do some things. So hopefully he does. But I had the second line. Oh, so Bro line is Ogren. Well, it's actually, to keep it in the chronological order, Bro line starts are Besser with the B, Rossi in the middle with the R, and Ogren on the other wing as the O. So Bro line. Then you had the second line with DeBrusk, Pettersson, and I've put Leo Carlsson there because they got to get him cooking. I mean, he was the MVP for, was he the MVP? Or was it Shilovs for the Absurd Calder Cup? For some reason, I'm blanking out on that one. Let me just see here. Abbotsford Canucks Calder Cup MVP. And it was Archer Shilovs. Now, argument to be made that Carlson should have won that, but Shilovs got it. So you got to put him up there. He can't be playing bottom 6 role. I think they're going to play with Petey. They're going to try to get both of those guys to play well. Okay. And then the third line, and this is where it is. What's going to happen on that third line? What's it going to happen? Now, I do still think we're going to trade DeBrusk going into next season, before next season, or sometime into next season. But you have Cotter. I have Cotter at the third line left winger. I've got Hedel back at the center position. And then I've got Lekkerimäki on the right-hand side. Now, it could be Lekkerimäki on that left-hand side, but Cotter also plays left wing. We got a lot of left wingers. Plus, Drew O'Connor, who signed a big deal and has played pretty well in Vancouver, he's my fourth line left winger. So there is some big promise there on our left side. They need to move a guy like DeBrusk to have a guy like Lekkerimäki, Cotter, Drew O'Connor, and Ogren, just young guys to get some more playing time and to see what they're going to do. Right? So it's very, very important to see and to watch. So I'm going to be spending specific attention this year on that third line center. Now, Paul Cotter is 26. He's making $2.15 million. And I hear a lot of good things about him. Only making $775,000. So he's on a real small deal, but he's a guy who had 2 years ago with the Devils, he had 79 games, 16 goals, 6 assists, and 22 points. And then last year, New Jersey was not good again. And they had, in 79 games, he only had 9 goals, 6 assists, and 15 points. So, I mean, Cotter could be on the fourth line. Drew O'Connor played better. So maybe it's Drew O'Connor that's going to be back in that spot. We're going to see. But it's going to be very interesting, very telling to see what happens in Vancouver land. I mean, a lot of people are anticipating that Coots is going to get a regular time opportunity in Vancouver this year, which would be awesome. He probably needs a year in Abbotsford, but we'll see. He's probably NHL kind of ready for a young guy. But that's, again, if Hedel gets hurt and it doesn't really go well there. So just looking at it, It's tough to say. It's tough to say what the lines are going to be. I'm very interested in seeing what Manny Malhotra does with this roster. I'm super interested to see what he does with this roster. I'm not sure. Does Hedel come back? Can he continue to play? Will he avoid the injury bug? I know that he is one of those guys where he wants to play. I don't, like, my personal opinion, I'm not a doctor. I just think it's too risky at this stage, but he's wanting to play. He's wanting to play. So it is what it is, everyone. Oh, there's so much going on. There's so much going on with this team. And there's so many unknowns at this stage. It's really difficult to know. End of September can't get here fast enough, in my opinion. It can't wait for training camp and all these different things. There's not a lot to talk about when it comes to the Canucks these days. All the shifts have made. They've, general manager Ryan Johnson has put his stamp already on this team, moving in a different direction. We're going to see how this team unfolds. I'm interested. Now, this season, I've only predicted us to get 29 wins. I didn't add overtime losses. I'm going to add 8 of those. And so we're going to be in a spot next season where I think that we're going to be at least the bottom 3 of the league. Just looking at this roster, and we'll see. I mean, the bounce back for Petey with these players, can he do this? He doesn't play overly well with DeBrusk, to be honest. DeBrusk plays well on the power play, but not a lot of people do play great with Petey, to be honest. It's been Kuzmenko, the Lotto line, and who, right? He's had flashes with Höglander, but he's gone. Just really interesting. Maybe they put Hedel on that left wing with Pettersson and see if that would work too. That's a possibility. Some people think that you should put Pettersson on a wing and go there. I've had some of those comments come in and all that kind of stuff too. So there's a lot going on, everyone. There's a lot going on. Now, many of you know that I've started a podcast, and it's been going pretty good. So if you're on Spotify or Apple, you can search me up. The one on Apple, I had by accident made 2 of them. If there's one that only has 1 episode, that's not the one you want to use. It's the one that has the 10 episodes that I already have on there. So check it out there. And if you could be so kind to rate and review, that would be fantastic. Now, tonight's been one of those nights where I've kind of fumbled around with the numbers. It's been a few days since I've done a video or a podcast. And so I guess I've got knocking off some of the rust here in this section. So want to dive into that. Also, I did something else. I made a video and about what next jersey should I buy, Trevor Linden or Gino Ojek. It was a great video. It's gotten a lot of hits. But I was in a store. They were both there. The only thing is I've been following a guy, and I've talked about my hockey jerseys collection video that I did last week or week before, talking about a guy named Tarp Collector who's on Instagram and on X, and I've been connecting with him. Good dude. The amount of jerseys he has is insane. I would encourage you to follow him instead on Instagram over X, because he posts all this stuff on Instagram there. But I mean, maybe he does it on both. I've seen more on Instagram than I have on X. And the amount, but he sent me a message. He says, Trev, don't buy that Ojek jersey because the colors don't match up. And I'm like, say what? So he sent me a link. Okay. He sent me a link, and it was nutso. It was absolutely nutso. And he was right. And he says, you're spending all that money. The problem with those jerseys are they're the Mitchell and Ness ones. And they're the ones that are $300. I try to get them on sale for $250. So I tried one on, took a picture of it. This is what it looks like. And he said, if you look at the logo, it's orange on the logo, but on the arms, it's red. It's red around the collar. It's red at the bottom of the jersey, but the logo isn't red. It's orange, and it needs to match. They did an epic fail on these ones, and I'm thinking, if I'm spending that much money, so I really want to get a Gino Ojic. This is my best shot. I don't think it's easy to find Gino Ojic white skate jerseys, but it is what it is. Then also on the weekend, I did something else as I decided to finally start my new channel on the NBA. I'm a huge basketball fan. I love the NFL. I love NHL, and I like I love watching basketball as well. And the Sonics are supposed to be coming back 28-29. So I'm all in. As you can see, I've bought the gear. I've got my Sean Kemp Slam Magazine shirt I'm wearing tonight. And I went and bought Air Jordans that have the Sonic colors. And then I found this weekend at Out of Bounds Sports in Victoria, just for the morning and afternoon, and went to the store. This was on sale. That jacket, it's like a windbreaker kind of feel jacket. $129, guys. $129 on 75% off. I got it for $36 with tax. Crazy. And that hat that I'm wearing there is the Sonics hat I've been looking for about a year and a half. I couldn't find the flat rim. Walk in there. That hat cost me $44.99, more than the windbreaker, everyone. And so I'm in. I'm already ready for when the Sonics come back. So I decided to start a channel. And as you can see, I'm on TikTok, X, YouTube, and Instagram. Now, if you don't like basketball, don't follow it. Don't follow it. It's not worth it, right? Because it's not your sport. But if you do like basketball, consider following RevTrev NBA. I have my channel on football, and I mostly do Packers content. I've done some Seahawks. I do a bunch of fantasy football stuff. I just got picked up by a fantasy football website to write fantasy football articles as well. So you can always check me out there. I just wrote an article yesterday, put it up, and it's called fantasy15football.com. And my first one's up. The second one's going up tomorrow. So if you're into fantasy football, go there. So like, guys, I have this Kempner Sports brand that's branching out, but don't worry. I've got so much Canucks content coming out. I'm a diehard Canucks fan. I'm not going anywhere. Not that in the foreseeable future, I love doing what I'm doing. I love that I'm now podcasting and doing the video content and doing the short form reels, TikToks, all that kind of shorts. I do all of it. Streams, everything. It's crazy the amount of stuff I pull off. So I'm not trying to toot my horn. I'm just saying I just get inspired. I start making videos, and I'm so glad you're here and you can enjoy it and have some fun with me. So yeah. So if you're listening online, I'm going to move into a section where I'm going to answer some questions from the audience that's here live. And whether you're here live or later, please post a comment. I would love to chat with you. Also, if you're on those podcasts, rate and review. That would be really helpful. And leave a comment there, man. That would be great. That would be absolutely great. So we're gonna dive into this conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts. There's a number of people in here tonight. Last thing before I get into the comments is I went to one of the Nanaimo Dollaramas, and I picked up literally the last hockey pack. And I'm going to open this up, not tonight on the stream. I'm going to do my own short video because, got to make content, right? So interested to see what I pull from this one. I haven't pulled the greatest stuff. You saw me pull the Calgary Flames card, and I ripped it up right on the video because I don't like the Flames. Can't stand them. Okay, let's dive in. Let's dive into the comments. Going to hit the promo, and then we're going to get into the comments. All right, so We've been talking about the third line left winger, Höglander, Joshua, and now Drew O'Connor, or AKA Doc. Let's dive in to what you're saying here. Apex Sports Network's the first guy here. He says, "Hey, Rev Trev, I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel, and you make some great content and videos on the platform. You are such a really nice, humble, and down-to-earth person. Thank you so much, SGA. It's great to connect with you, and I thank you for your kind words." Coach Rob's in the building. Rolly's here. Settle down now. Oh, by the way, if you're on YouTube tonight, I'm giving away 5 free YouTube memberships. So, yeah, there's a lot of people talking about that there was a lot of glitching going on with my channel. Hopefully it doesn't affect the audio too much. Probably does. But a lot of people saying that there's glitching and lagging. Thank you for letting me know. Seems to be better now. Okay, great. Okay, settle down now. Says Coots, not more than 9. Thanks. Oh, hi, son. My son's here, and he just dropped off. Speaking of Dollarama, went and picked me up some dollar candies, which I love. Sour gummy cherries, which I'm pumped about, and gummy worms from there. Let's go. That's kind of them. My son Tyson did that. That's very nice. On a great day to come and do that for me. Okay. Settle down now. Says, Coots, not more than 9 games. Please to keep the RFA years. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The unrestricted free agent years kick in the moment he comes in there. And so he only has what, the ELC of, is it 3 years of ELC? And then from there we go up. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, man. I'm interested to see what Coots can do. If he can play, let him play. But yeah, Steven Wong says, "Hi, Rev. Do you think there's potential for us to trade Jake DeBrusk to Edmonton? Edmonton needs wingers. DeBrusk is from Edmonton and wants to win. Do you think Edmonton would be interested?" My personal opinion is, I think any team that's trying to play playoff hockey should be interested in Jake DeBrusk. He's a playoff performer. We've seen it in the past. He's a power play specialist this year. What did he score? 19 power play goals? Are you kidding me? Imagine if he's playing with Draisaitl or McDavid. Tell me that's not a good fit. I think the Edmonton Oilers should be calling. They could probably get real dirt cheap stuff for DeBrusk. I think you could get a second and a third and get DeBrusk, and because they're trying to win a cup, everyone. That's what they're trying to do. So I think Edmonton should be interested. I think everyone should be. Montreal, Boston, even Toronto. Florida doesn't need to do that. Maybe Utah. There's all kinds of teams that are gunning for the playoffs that I think should be interested in Jake. Good question, by the way. Sensei Dean here says, "I'd say Pettersson isn't a driving center. He should move to the wing. Maybe he would shoot more." He shoots more if he's on the power play. I was just rewatching the game that I went to this last season against Florida. He had 2 goals there, and they were both power play goals on that right-hand side. I still think you need to keep him on there and just let him pepper the goaltender. But yes, he isn't a driving center. Maybe moving him to the wing, see what happens. That'd be kind of interesting. Steven also says, "I feel like Edmonton might be one of the more desperate teams with McDavid." Absolutely. So yeah, DeBrusk would be a good spot. Yeah, and because McDavid's contract is coming up, right? So Super Delicious Tacos in the building. Same with Swerve and Irvin. Love doing that video with you, my friend. He says, "Let's go." Hashtag hockey cards. Absolutely. Super Delicious Taco says, "Another Canucks creator played BGM mode in NHL 26 to prove the NHL won't give us a first-round pick. He stripped the team for draft picks and gave Atu Ratu $20 million. The Canucks won the cup." What? That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Japan's in the building. Good to see you, my friend. Hey, Trev, congratulations on the NBA stream. Thank you very much. I think that our young, tough players will unlock, Sensei Dean says, I think that our young, tough players will unlock some of our more skilled guys. Yeah, it could be. Let them play. Coy is what CMAP says. Same with Swerve and Irvin. Coy, what are we talking about? Coy here. Is it Coy? Post in the comments what you guys are meaning by that. Sensei Dean, but I hope they are all able to hit when needed. Yes. Japan says all of our young players need the proper development before they start up with with Vancouver. We don't want another Podkolzin or Höglander wasted because we forced them into the lineup. That's a fair point. It's a fair point. I just don't think it's just a blanket statement. I think you got to do it by individual basis there. Super Delicious Taco says Oilers better give us something good for DeBrusk after Alvin did them a favor with Kane. Right? So, yeah. Coots is good, but it's a huge dump from the huge jump from the WHL to the NHL. CMAP says in terms of speed and decision making, I think a year or two in the AHL is the best course of action regarding him. I agree. CMAP is asking which jersey did I settle on, the Gino Ojek white skate or the white Orca, old Orca of Trevor Linden. I didn't get either. I'm still thinking about it. $300 for a jersey is something that I don't. I just don't want to rush into that decision. But as I put it on, like literally 70% of people who commented and a ton of people commented said go with the Gino jersey, and I just think I look good in it, but I still want the Trevor Linden one too. The problem is I have a jersey issue. I just love buying jerseys, so I almost got that Trevor Linden one on Marketplace for way cheaper. But yeah, so Swervin was just copying CMAP for the CO. The Coy one. Yeah, I don't know. Rolly says if Demmer, Petey, and Hedel have good seasons, we might be chasing a wild card spot. You know what? I did make a video with Swerve and Irvin and talked about that specific thing. That was an interesting conversation. You can hear it on the podcast or go back to there. And I talked about, wasn't it the rebuild killers? And I was talking about Demko being health, So, Japan says 100% agree, Trev. Each player is different, but no one is NHL ready if they're rookies. Yeah, it's fine. Swerve and Irvin says some people don't remember this, but the original skate logo colors were yellow and orange. Yes, they were. So, and that's fine, but I think that's on. So, CMAT says Coy was a mistake, hit send by accident when it auto-corrected instead of delete. Oh, okay, that's totally fine. Super Delicious Taco says, I want Zilkin, not DuPont. DuPont is screaming Verhoff to me. Overhyped too early. I don't think he's a lock for number one overall, which is fine because I don't think we're going to get the first overall pick anyways. So if we can land DuPont at any stage, I think DuPont is the real deal. I don't think when we're talking about Verhoff and DuPont, they're in the same stratosphere. Like DuPont is literally, he's got qualities of Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes and Lane Hudson. That's what we're talking about here, is someone with that kind of pedigree, that kind of potential. Now, Verhoff was big. He's tall. And he's got some skill sets, and he struggled this year. So, yes, we need to watch DuPont. It's going to be the DuPont watch for sure. Landon DuPont, though, I think is the real deal. So, let's continue to watch him for sure. Sensei Dean says we were burnt twice from Edmonton, Kane and Desharnais. Yeah, I know. It was tough, man. It was tough watching those guys play in Vancouver. And we kind of knew we were taking a risk. Super Delicious Taco says Demko being healthy is like me discovering water on the sun. Big fantasy, unfortunately. I know, but I just love Demko. Oh, I really do love Demko. Servant says, when we bought the skate logo, brought the skate logo from the front of the jersey, there was a very brief time that we still had orange and gold, switched to red and yellow because of CCM manufacturing. Oh, that's good to know. Super Delicious Talk says, Rev, respectfully, Verhoff was compared to Makar heavily. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's just too early. But yes, you're right. What you're saying is you don't believe that DuPont's going to be the real deal. I'm saying I think he's going to be the real deal, and we're going to find out this year by his numbers, and we'll see. Rolly says, wait and get a Novotny jersey. I know. I've been thinking about that a lot. When's he going to play in the NHL? We're talking in like 2 years from now. 2 years from now. So I might get him a jersey of his. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I feel like some of these guys, they bite you, you're all excited and then they want to leave or they just fall off the map. Like, the Pedersen jersey I sold it. I'm so glad I sold it, I'm with CMAP though, that Alexis Joseph that's coming up in the draft next year looked good. Looks like a good backup pick if we lose out on DuPont. Big center with skill, need another first round pick. Brock England has all looked good at the Helenka Gretzky tournament as well. Rolly thinks that Novotny is going to play in 2 years. Sorver Nervous says, imagine if the trade DeBrusk, if we trade DeBrusk for a first, that's way out in the future. Oh my goodness, that would be I'd be fine, just like they did with Marcus Pedersen, right? Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good point. Japan says Caleb Malhotra would be the safe bet if you're going to buy a jersey. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. But yeah, he's gonna get more opportunities. But I want to see what he looks like in the NHL before I make that call. Super Delicious Taco says Novotny will be a 15-year Canucks type guy. I truly believe he'll be a cornerstone and culture driver. That's great. I hope you're right. I mean, if you could think about it, if Malhotra and Novotny spend 15 to 20 years here, this is one of the best Canucks drafts of all time. You got the Twins. Trevor Linden was a good one. Edler, great one for us, played tons of games for us. But man, could you imagine if those two guys played 15 years for us? That would be amazing. Sensei Dean says, because Toronto will have to spend some big money, can we poach someone from there? Yeah, it's possible. We'll see. I think general manager Ryan Johnson and the Twins, our co-presidents, are going to definitely look at every option. And then Swervin Irvin says, yes, just get number 27 Malhotra and never tell people if it's Caleb or Manny, right? Because he's wearing his dad's one. Can you imagine? I mean, you would know because the Manny one comes with the Vancouver on top of the Orca. But yeah, I know what you're saying. That was a good one, though. CMAP says, in 2028, we need to do some Berkey type magic so we can draft the Regina dynamic duo in Schultz and is it Pure? The guy's name there. I'm not really familiar with him, but yeah. So this is the video for tonight, everyone. And I just want to thank you so much for being here, whether you're watching this live or later, or you're listening to this on the podcast. It's been a blast to make content for you guys. And I love the passion that we're still seeing at this stage in August of 2026. It's really cool to see. Just a quick reminder, if you like the NBA, you love basketball, follow me on RevTrev NBA, TikTok, X, YouTube, and Instagram. That would be awesome. All right, everyone. So we're going to call it a night. And I'm so grateful for this evening. Thanks again for watching. Believe in blue. Let's see what this rebuild looks like. I'm going to make this video on the hockey cards and post it tomorrow. And then remember, always cheer this team on. Win or lose, go Canucks, go.